music is about to end, so I don't want to stop the song. It's a pretty cool song. Alright, there we go. Good. In the top left side, we have ourselves a red Protoss player fighting for... just saw it. Team GP. He is a Prince. The bottom right side, will he show us his superiority, or will he kind of fall apart with it? Like, you know, only the Rogue does sometimes. He is the Blue Zerg. He is Jaina Greenwing's Rogue. Whenever Rogue doesn't win a tournament, people are like, oh, he's out of shape. He's just not doing it anymore, guys. He only got round of 16 in this tournament. No. Throw him for the wolves. He is no longer welcome in my shrine of epic Zerg players overall. But, you know what? I mean, he may not be as consistent, but when he is on point, when he has one of these matches going into his favor, the way he makes it look is ridiculous. The way he just kind of plays the game, the way he figures out which units he needs to make, what type of strategies he needs to use, what kind of different implementations he needs to start incorporating with whatever the hell it is he's doing. He knows how to do it. And he makes it look broken. He makes it look stupid, ridiculous when you see it happen. And even as a Zerg player, sometimes you look at him and you're like, oh, well, geez, this just seems unfair. This just doesn't seem like it should happen. And, well, this could be one of those moments. It could be. I don't quite think that it will. We do have a very good response, it looks like, so far from Prince. He's gonna get himself a cannon. I really wasn't expecting Rogue to be the one that gets aggressive with this, but, well, first and foremost, gets that gateway, of course. Oh, actually, 3 Zerglings on top of that Zealot right there. That is a big amount of surface area available. Actually, could have gotten 4 of them on top of that Zealot. Will he be able to get this forge before the cannon is up and ready to protect? Yeah, well, he may still get it here. There is another wall, is there? There is. Okay, so yeah, the Zerglings have to back off right now. This is quite the committed attack. There is already a second hatchery behind this going up, though. I'm not quite sure if there is any sort of a follow-up you can even realistically try to achieve in situations like this, but alright, well, here we go. The Zerglings trying to all get on top of the cannon. Very bad overall placement of those Zerglings there initially. Not quite being able to get the damage he was looking for right there. And wow, Prince already broke his wall off right here. Being like, alright, well, that's it. I held. But has he held? I mean, there's still more Zerglings on the way. I guess more drones now being produced rather than Zerglings. But ultimately, that was still a brave move. Especially with that creep in the neighborhood, right? You're not going to be able to re-wall here very quickly. No matter how much you try, that creep will not allow anything to really be placed down there. That's not a Zerg building. Oh, does lose 2 drones right now. Just gonna be able to start spreading creep though from the most optimal location, his opponent's base. Which is pretty sweet. It's a good, cool thing to be able to do. It's going to be able to start spreading the creep towards here, I suppose, right? Deny that third base for perhaps quite a while. Just an interesting thing to do. Cool little follow-up. Of course, we could still have Princes take this base, because there's not a secondary creep tumor going the opposite direction. Oracle, the 2 queens in the natural base, not quite there, so quite a few probes will be taken out. Looks like only 3 of them, though. That is quite a bit, though, considering how much damage Rogue took previously. Oh, kill stolen, that Phoenix. That poor guy. He's not gonna get his Overlord kill medallion at Scout Camp. Right. Prince, he's going for the Adept Glaives as a follow-up right now, and I think that could be fairly strong at the moment, right? Because if you are Rogue at this moment in time, you would assume that he is going to go for a lot of drones, because, well, he needs to build up somewhat of an economy in order to recuperate from his failed attack. The overall offensive, that didn't quite work out in his favor. I say didn't quite work out in his favor. He lost more than double the amount of minerals right there in that entire occurrence, and now needs to find a way to kind of recuperate and to punish somebody for trying to drone up as heavily as possible in order to replenish their forces. An attempt a glaive attack could be quite a bit of trouble indeed, especially because of the opening of the Stargate right now should be allowing the Adepts to go unscouted, right? The Phoenix has cleared the way. Only now we see these Adepts really at this moment in time, and that is already as they are arriving at the natural base, pretty much. To be fair, of course, Submarine, a very small map to begin with, but still, okay, does use a little bit of a status trap there and starts to whittle down quite a bit of those numbers of drones. 7 of them so far falling. Is going to get himself into the main base here as well. There's not that many links available. In fact, there's nowhere near the amount of links that you need for this. And, well, more of them are coming out. Yeah, that's just a GG. That is just a GG. The first game going into Prince's favor. Interesting. I mean, that was just Rogue doing a little bit of a Rogue thing, I suppose, right? Trying to get the sneaky, easy victory, ultimately, but not quite being able to get that to work out in his favor there. A great response, though, from Prince. I mean, it seems logical in a sense to go for the Forge and then get yourself some cannons. It's, you know, a very, very strong overall defense. But you don't see the Forge with the cannons all that often as a response, right? Normally, people like to get themselves the Adepts as quickly as possible. You like to get yourself just get 1 or 2 Zealots out and try to hold the wall and stop them from killing off those initial buildings. But ultimately, going for those cannons, I mean, it does seem like it's a solid way to try and deal with this. There is, in fact, no delay, Mr. Boy Fantasy. That's right. The only delay is just me and my own failings as responding in time to anybody. Alright, here we are. We have the wrong race. We have the wrong race, so yeah, we're gonna redo that one. Don't want Prince to have to play Terran right there. Does seem like that would be a little bit unfortunate, a little bit unfair. I'm gonna try to do the screen transition. Yeah, we had Prince on Terran instead of Protoss, so didn't wanna force him, you know, to be Spear, or was it Sword? What's his name again? Glaive. Axe? What's the guy's names? It's Sword, right? Is it Sword? It's Spear. It's Spear. He's Spear. I'm pretty certain it's Spear. Machete? what's it called again? Machete? I don't know. Anyway, what I do know is that now we have a map with a Protoss and a Zerg, and it's the right map as well, so we're all looking shiny, we're all looking good. In the bottom right side, there's that red Protoss going for the hatchery block very, very early on. He is the one and only Team GP's Prince. His opponent in the top left side, that is a blue Zerg, waiting to see whether... Oh, wait, hold up, I got the score wrong here. Let me get that right. There we go. In the top left side, we have ourselves a rogue. From the Jina Green Wings. We have a rogue. Interesting. Interesting. Scores are reversed. Yeah, Bitterwood, thank you. Thank you. So, I mean, Prince. I mean, if you are to win against Rogue, right? Who cares that it is because he tried to do a bad all-in a way, right? That's something that he probably saw Bly do this one time, and Bly made look absolutely broken. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, he still gets a point on the board, right? And that's what matters. That is what matters. It's only a best of 5, so I mean, it's not like you can just throw away points here as Rogue. You do still need to be on top of things. You do still need to watch out for what is happening. You never know with Rogue. He just likes to do dumb shit sometimes. You know what? Catharsis. That may be the case. That may be the case. And you know what? That dumb stuff sometimes works. Sometimes it just works. And this could be also another reason why Rogue sometimes is that successful, right? Because you can't just expect him to do the macro play like some of the other Zerg players. And become a little bit too obvious. You're going to be able to play something straight up in a fashion where you know what the Zerg is going to do and how he's going to respond to it. And versus Rogue, that is never going to be the case. You're always going to have to keep your in the back of your mind. Well, he could play regular. Or he could try to just make a hatchery in front of my base. He could try to Night Swarm me. He could try to Zergling harass. He could try to just Zergling all in. He could try to go for a couple of Zerglings, but not really for harassment. Just kind of to kill off my main building or something. I don't know. That's a lot of weird stuff he can do. There's a lot of things he can do. It's the less aggressive Korean Bly, in a sense, right? He's still very aggressive, just not as early on. What happens in game number 1? Rogue tried to go for a spawning pool first with a hatchery blocking the wall of Prince. Prince went for a forge, he made some cannons, he held, and a Adept Glaive attack, killing everything afterwards, after the hold. Rogue underestimated Prince. That's a good way of putting it. That is a good way of putting it. Alright. Pudding. So, Rogue, this time around, playing a little bit more careful. Is up against the Stargate opening once more. That's right. Prince did react well. Incredibly well. Like, with something you don't see a lot of players do as well. I mean, the Forge response, it is a little bit dedicated, right? Because you can't use those units in a different fashion, which is why I would assume people prefer to go for the Adepts, because you can make use of them at a later point in time as well still, right? You can ensure that you'll hold the defense, and then afterwards you can maintain that value that you've put into this and utilize it on a different front of the battle. Now, it looks like Rogue just kind of went so heavily all in with that attack that it didn't quite matter at all that Prince invested the extra money into the cannons just to ensure his safety. I think it may have even helped him keep more of his stuff alive, which in turn saved him minerals, right? He didn't have to recreate a Cybercore, he didn't have to recreate too much, like one gateway perhaps, and he lost the Forge, and that's it. He didn't have to remake any pylons, he didn't have to remake any of that, and instead just making that investment into the cannons seems like it was just a better way of dealing with this. In my opinion, at least. Then again, maybe I need to see it more often. Because it may have its own weaknesses, of course. Which just weren't utilized there. What happens if you get yourself a Baneling Nest with this as well? What happens if you start making spine crawlers or something like that? Go even more all in than the all in already was. Double down on the aggression. I don't know. I don't know. Solid creep spread here from Rogue though. I like the trails that these creep zoomies are making. Looking pretty sharp. Fourth base on the way, together with a spy attack right now, going under construction. A lot of energy being stacked up on some of these screens here. Which, actually, you know what, is a pretty smart thing. It's something maybe I need to look into doing myself a little bit more so as well, because basically what we're seeing here from Rogue is he got himself 1, 2, 3, 4 creep tumors in order to start spreading creep every which direction he needs, and then just start saving up energy. And that energy can be utilized later on for transfusions. It can be utilized for mass injections, perhaps, if you want to start focusing more so on Mutalisk micro and such. Right, you're still going to have a ton of larvae to work with without having to continuously have to go back and forth between your bases and the fronts. Maybe that is going to open you up to micro Zerglings a little bit more as well. Who knows? I would prefer it though to keep stuff like this around for the transfuse specifically. And again, with the Mutalisk circling army, you really need that much transfusion. Maybe later on, if we do decide to go into Ultralisk, it could help out with a transition into that, right? It could help out with something like that. Anyway, a reasonably sized ball of Mutalisk at the moment. And they are trying to get as much damage dealt here as possible. The Phoenix already actually getting quite low in numbers at the moment. And I think that may have been the final Phoenix that is still left standing. Getting on top of these on top of these Stalkers as well right now. The Archons were on top trying to get these Mutalisk caught out of position perhaps on the retreat. But instead actually these Archons now being jumped on as well, and one of them does fall without being able to do too much here. Very ballsy attempt at a defense here for Prince, but ultimately, you know what, we know the micro from Rogue with those Mutalisk is pretty darn disgusting. And once again, he's proving just this, and how fantastic he is with the Mutalisk harassment. Picking off whatever he can, gonna be able to swing on by this Archon. No, he's just gonna jump on top of the Archon. My god, I'm always absolutely terrified of Archons, but with seeing Mutalisk trying to take those fights, but I don't know, it doesn't look like Rogue is all too bothered by it. Just continuously adding in more Mutalisk, getting +2 as well. More Zerglings on the way, as he now is on a 5 base economy behind this. Look at the amount of gas that he's farming up. He is just going absolutely ham on the Mutalisk. And, oh no, Prince getting caught out with a lot of his valuable units right there. Immortals being just zapped down into absolute devastation. And now we see the Mutalisk actually fighting the Stalkers together. Not even together with the Zerglings. There's no Zerglings here. The Zerglings are in the 3rd base fighting an Archon, because that is always going to end up well, isn't it? Well, at least if you see Rogue do it, for God's sake. Alright, well, guys, I think this may be going to be a game coming up pretty darn soon here in a tied up series. And this is, that is disgusting. That is, jeez Louise, this is what we mean, right? With, like, if Rogue manages to get everything going that he wants to, if he gets the responses that he wants to, this is what it looks like. This is how he makes everybody feel. That's like, alright, yeah, I guess he is really good at this game. I guess he can just kill Archons with Mutalisk. I guess he can just kill the Phoenix and the Stalkers. weren't those supposed to be the counters to Mutalisk? Weren't those supposed to deal with Mutalisk? Well, not if you fly around like that. They don't, apparently. Hats off to Rogue. Well done. And, yeah, Rogue's macro behind it, untouched as well. That's a good point, but, like, it felt so incredibly quickly. We went from the 3 base economy to the 6 base economy, and then just grabbing all the gas as well from all those 6 bases seems to be a very important part of the overall strategy there, right? I mean, he could have even tried to take one of the rich Vespian bases, perhaps, as well, because, I mean, if you keep this much pressure on your opponents, like, what shot does Prince really have of trying to get on top of one of those rich Vespian bases? I think the Mutalisk will just kill everything as they're trying to get over there, right? That's kind of what it feels like to me. And, yeah, that is disturbing. That is disturbing. Disturbing. Alright. Okay, game number 2. Both these players 1 point on the board now. In the bottom right side, the red Protoss once again looking for the block of the hatchery, I believe. A little bit later this time, perhaps. No, okay, this is going to go across. Thought he was going to put down the pylon first. But looks like this will be the pylon probe. Probe pylon, they call him. Anyway, in the bottom right side, the red Protoss. He is from Team GP. He is Prince. And in the top left side, we have ourselves a blue Zerg fighting for the Jinne Green Wings. He is Rogue. Oh. Okay, so once again, the hatchery does get blocked. Once again, though, Rogue doesn't seem too bothered by it. We'll just set up shop somewhere else. Got his little eco ball rolling on the other side. As Prince, well, Prince doing regular stuff at home as well. Still needs to check that main base, of course. It's always scary not checking the main base as quickly as you can with these probes. Still a potential of just a quick spawning pool being thrown down, and then of course you do need to adjust your build orders slightly. It looks like Prince not going to be under any pressure right now. It's just going to be able to get away with a Nexus before the Cybercore in this case, right? Okay, so overall the probe trying to figure out what is going to be happening, what's coming his way. Doesn't see a second gas, doesn't see an early pull, doesn't see too much out of the ordinary. It's going to be able to stick around for a little bit longer, of course. Up until the point where the Zerglings are about to pop. That's when he needs to skedaddle, skedoodle. Run like a wet noodle. Cybercore, Gateway, Nexus. All the building blocks for a Protoss to start a Stargate off of. That's right. Okay, so I mean, this is the third game that we are seeing the Stargate opening. And to be fair, it is the standard way of dealing with Zerg right now, right? It's been the established way to try and deal with Zergs for the Protoss right now. You want to play a little bit defensive, perhaps, or you want to play aggressive if you go for Oracles. You can even try to get yourself some Void Rays. There's multiple things you can do with that Stargate, which makes it a little bit nicer, in my opinion, in order to throw off your Zerg opponents. You're going to have a bit of a harder time figuring out exactly what you're doing and what your plan is. And in fact, it is going to be a Void Ray to open things up. So that is rather exciting here. Seeing Prince switching it up here slightly. With the Void Ray coming out first. A couple of Zerglings still coming across the field. They need to get this scout off. A lot of adepts here may throw Rogue off the beating path, right? May anticipate more so an adept glaive attack with this amount of adepts here. But there is that Void Ray. Okay, so immediately jumps onto the prismatic alignment button and will be able to shut down that Overlord. Gonna start flying across the fields here. Doesn't look like Rogue's gonna be too heavily supply blocked for too long though, right? Just this small little supply block. Nothing too bad. Nothing that can't be fixed with just making a secondary overlord a little bit quicker. Which is what he seems to be doing. He needs to start making more overlords though. He's gonna get supply blocked in a while. Actually, no, it's Prince. Never mind. Never mind. Third base for Prince. Coming up as well. So, he's gonna go for the Twilight Council regardless of all the other stuff that has been happening. And now gonna go for the Adept Glaive attack. So, this is quite a interesting one. Still making use of those adepts he started off earlier on with. Right, so I believe this may also be the reason why we did see a Road Shrine being created by Rogue. So he's already a little bit prepared for this. But because Rogue saw the Void Ray afterwards, he may be anticipating something else entirely instead of the Adepts. But having that Roach Warren already available is going to help him out quite a bit. Just needs to start up Roaches right now. He doesn't quite have the money for it just quite yet. But pretty certain he will fairly soon. Okay, 2 more Adepts do fall right there into the main base. There's only now 4 Adepts remaining. The Zerglings smartly back up here a little bit until the Adepts try to shed away again because of the Queens and the Roaches. A little bit more commonplace to try and use those in these choke point areas instead of links. A bit more efficient. More Adepts actually on the third base again. And this is maybe not getting an insane amount of drones, but it's keeping Rogue from mining efficiently. We can see a nice little burp into the red right there on that economic advantage. Who is Prince? Prince is a younger... is he? How young is he actually? What is his age? He is... No, he's been around the block for a while. Yeah, he's like a B-tier Korean Brothos player. He's pretty cool to see. He can be very aggressive. He can do a little bit of his own stuff in a way. We've seen him play in GSL like once or twice maybe, and he went up against Maru. That's the most memorable one. And he's suddenly in the GSL, he had some like spectacular builds against Maru, which almost worked out. It was a little bit of a breath of fresh air not too long ago, and ever since he's been a bit more on the radar of everybody, kind of as a Protoss player that perhaps may be able to break on through to the A tier list at some point, but he's going up against Rogue at the moment, and Rogue, well, we all know Rogue. How absolutely terrifying he is. He's going for the Nidus Worm here. I mean, Rogue won't go easy on you, just because, you know, you're an up-and-coming player. That is not ever going to be the case. But, you know what, as he is building this Nidus Worm, there is a big attack coming in as well. This may help him out a little bit, actually, because he already prepped for an attack, and whenever you're attacking somebody that was already prepping to attack as well, that could be quite a bit of trouble, because now accidentally, in a way, Rogue has prepared for this attack coming in without even really necessarily being ready for this attack. Although, you know what, could have just been in preparation and wanting to have the Nidus Worm at the same time as well. But yeah, this is not pretty. This is not pretty at all. Of course, the Colossus there is hallucinated. Still trading out somewhat okay against Rogue right now, but the big problem right here is, of course, the Nidus Worm that will be appearing in the main base. We'll have to see a recall occur. There's not much else that Prince can do at this moment in time. Is he actually going to recall? I don't think there's anything in the Nidus Worm right at this moment anyway. But maybe a couple of Zerglings could get in there and then get themselves into the main base. The Warp Prism! The Warp Prism falls together with the Immortal, and an immediate GG follows. He's just eating the biles. Yeah, he was not dealing with the biles as efficiently as you would like to see. I do agree with that one. So yeah, second point going into favor for Rogue right there. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate for Rogue. Alright, I already drank all of my... Oh wait, I still have some water in my other bottle. Hold up, guys. I have a... Oh. I have a thingamajig. A dry throat. That needs to be remedied. There we go. Even Bitterwood could see. Even Bitterwood. If Bitterwood sees it, man, then there's a problem. I mean, he had some okay force fields, right? But, yeah. I needed that. Alright, good. Okay. Cool. Alright, guys, remember, after this best of 5, we still have a best of 7 between most likely Rogue and Dream. And after that one, we're gonna shut down the stream very shortly, immediately go up again, and we're going to be doing a bit of viewer replay casting. We'll start off with one from Bibs, then we'll go AK, then we'll do Defaced. We'll see how long they are, we'll see how much we get from it, and then maybe I'm gonna do some ladder, maybe we'll do some more overall viewer replay casting if we do get more submissions. If you want your replay, if you have like something special to show the world, well, this is your chance. This is your opportunity. You can get your replay submitted, and well, we're going to be watching it together. Have some fun, have some joy with the overall ladder experience that we're all having, and yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to be doing like, let's see, it will be around, I think, 6 when this is done. Perhaps. Depends on how quick Rogue vs. Dream goes, right? So, kind of want to be done at about 7 CEST, which would be in about 2.5 hours from now. Wait, is that already 2.5? Alright, so let's say 7:30 then. So we have like 3 hours left of stream. Alright? Alright. I think that's a fair one, right? We started at 3, so we're 1.5 hour in, so we'll have like 4... Yeah, it should be okay. Should be okay. Like 4 or 5 hours stream. Alright. Okay. Alrighty. You know what else I thought could be fun? It's not so much casting some replays from King of Battles, but more so just kind of trying to analyze things with people in the chat as well, right? Just kind of looking at some games, trying to see what people are doing differently and what kind of things are the reasons why certain things are working and why certain things aren't working. So, for example, we could try to take a look at Cyril in King of Battles, or we could take a look at Maru in King of Battles, for example, his TVT, because that has been off the chain at the moment. We could have a look at Cyril's ZvT as well, because, you know what, he managed to beat Maru, and then he goes down against Cure. What is that about? Stuff like that, you know? Try to get a bit more perspective in the entire thing. Oh no. Oh, this happens to me sometimes as well. Oh, that is just... Oh no. Okay, he fixed it. He fixed it. In the bottom right side, there's a red Protoss player. He is from Team GP. He is... Prince. And, well, he is on the purple map, so maybe this is going to be his map to win, isn't it? If he wins any one, and it will be the Purple Rain map. Anyway, in the top left side, we have ourselves a blue Zerg. And he is from the Jin Air Green Wings. He is on match point right now. He is Rogue. Talking about match point, let's get the scoreboards up there. Well, he did take a game off Rogue. That's something. Yeah, I mean, that is something, right? We're talking about Prince. It wasn't all in that Rogue was trying to do, but still, you know. And then he did just drone up massively against a depth pressure. But still. This is a aggressive looking plant, isn't it? I never realized actually. This is a plant with a lot of teeth right here. Glad that doesn't come to life or into play. So I don't know if any of you ever make these maps, but is it really just... do you really just make like one side of the map and then you mirror it to the other side of the map? Because it wouldn't make sense to like do all of it continuously, or it does it automatically. Is there like a feature that you can turn on so that there's like a mirrored mode? So when you like have it like crossed diagonally or something, you can do it like that, or you can do mirrored through the top side, so you can you know. Is like what I'm wondering about is when do you mirror the map? Is it on the end, or is it like right off the bat when you're starting to make the map? If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know if we have map makers here actually either. It's a weird question to ask without really realizing whether or not there are any people that make maps here. Cure shamed both Rainier and Cyril. It was shocking. Yeah, it was shocking, wasn't it? It really was. Like, what was that about? What happened? And then, why were they still doing well against the other Terrans and then suddenly not doing well against Cure? Was it really just the amount of damage they took from the Widow Mines? It's hard to say. Too adaptive from Prince. Look like they will be able to get themselves 2 workers, 3 workers. Come on, 3 workers. Yes. Okay. Somewhat worth. That's an okay amount. You should be able to see this shadow here still, right? Like, you don't need high ground vision to see a shadow of something. How do you get the replays for King of Battles? It's actually a replay pack you have to buy in the Matcherino page. It supports the next upcoming tournament. You can't. Well, it's not. You don't. I don't have a Matcherino thing over here. Let me see. Actually, if I have somebody. Is there somebody here ready for the link of the Matcherino? Let me see. It's not on that Matcherino. That's an entirely different Matcherino, guys. Ah, there we go. Thank you, Sushi. There we are. So yeah, you can buy it off right there. A lot of people already have. And it's gonna put more money into the next big thing, right? The next big tournament that we're hoping to make. Maybe make it even bigger. Better and beefier. And then as soon as Corona sorts off, we can finally start making offline events happen as well, perhaps. Who knows? That would be cool, right? Offline Alpha X events. Oh, sign me up. Sign me up if that would be a thing. So far, it's impossible to do because of Corona, unfortunately. But as soon as it is, my dear lord, it would be great. It would be great. It would be fantastic. It would be quite something. But anyway, yeah. Why not using Liquipedia? What do you mean not losing? Why? I always use Liquipedia. What's happening here? Wait, does Liquipedia also have the replays? No, I don't think so, right? Am I being confused? I think I am. Anyway, for the Matcherino page. Oh. For this one? Or King of Battles? I don't know. Cynical. You know I'm not that bright sometimes, alright? When it comes to these types of things. I need your help. I'm slow with these, with assumptions. The thing is, it may just be because whenever I make assumptions, I go wild with my assumptions, because it just goes every which direction, and then any but the right one. Which is, you know what? Interesting thing to have happen. Anyway, all right, let's actually discuss this game right here. I mean, we're kind of going into the macro game, which always will favor Rogue in this matchup, because it's Rogue, and so far we may be seeing Swarm Host play here actually coming up. Right, we already have a Ling over here. We have an Infestation Pit coming up. The Roach numbers here also kind of indicating to me that it could be the Swarm Host play. Now, that could benefit Prince if he does want to go aggressive here. And now we have those Swarm Hosts indeed coming up. Together with the Nidus Worm. We don't always see Nidus Worm being utilized anymore when you do go for the Swarm Hosts. Ultimately, it's not entirely necessary anymore. People have figured out that you can go Swarm Host without the Nidus Worm also. Of course, it's still a little bit more effective if you do have that Nidus Worm and you want to get across the map as quickly as possible. But you can just as well make use of these Roaches and the Ravagers to pin down a Protoss army. But at the same time, I mean, if you try to do that, you need to pin it down. You need to actually be able to have something that can fight something like this, and is that going to be the case here? I'm not completely certain. Okay, the Biles do manage to land on that Archon. The Queen's coming in as well. The Nidus Worm looking all lonesome at the moment. The War Prism again falls here due to the Biles landing right on top of it. Still, a lot of workers are going down though for Rogue. He is taking a bit of a beating, but ultimately, of course, he has those Swarmers now available, so he should be able to eke out a lot of efficiency, in particular now that Prince has lost most of his army. He's not going to be able to do much against these Locust Waves that are going to be coming in here. They are coming in soon. They are coming in hot. They are ready to pound some Protoss Patoots. And there we are. Spatuta words, I don't know. I just didn't want to say what else I had in mind beforehand. It's not looking all that great here for Prince. He's losing a lot of stuff. The Roaches and Ravagers here in high numbers together with the Swarm Host. Gonna have another wave relatively soon. Let's keep an eye out for that one actually. It's gonna be ready almost. It's like a quarter way offense. It doesn't look like they will be in any kind of danger anytime soon anyway until that moment is here, which is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. There we are. Into the sky we go. GG is called. And there you have it.